So welcome back guys to this part, and this part is mainly we're going through. First of all, we need navigation system because at some point we are just on the author screens and sign up. We want to go to login screen. Then after that, we want to change the stack and goes to the actual app and then different parts of the app. So definitely we need navigation. We need to actually install React Native. Doesn't come with our own navigation. One of the best navigations is basically React navigation. As you can see, React navigation here, all you need to do, you need to install this. We go with the Expo install. This is the main module you need to install. I'll go here with npx Expo, install this. Amazing. This is installed. Okay, so this needs two other dependencies basically. If you see these two, npx Expo install screens, and safe area context is just all these areas different phone has, and you don't want your content basically go underneath, like on top, bottom. So basically that's take care of this. It's definitely necessary. I haven't copied this. Okay, we installed that as well. These two not modules as well. So yeah, they are installed. Amazing. That's it for now. What you need to do is, first of all, the main app file, we just wrap everything under this. So that will be wrapped around everything. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove these stuff. We are using its own stack places to do that. So like what we need is different stacks. When you want to authenticate user and give user the access to different parts of your app, you need, for example, an author stack, which is all your authentication screens are, login, sign up, welcome screen, whatever else you have like on your sign before the user actually gets access to your app. And then you have another stack basically, which is your main app. When the user have access logged in to the app, you can also have like in between, you can also have a subscription stack as well. If your app has subscription and people need to pay to get into your app, so you don't want them after login to get into your app. If they don't have subscription, you want to send them to that subscription screen. We're not doing that for now. We're just like having an author stack and app stack basically. So that's what I'm going to do. So what else we need here? We need to create native stack navigator. So how this works, you call it as a function outside of your default function. And this one basically has two exports, which is one of them, you can just call it like this, a stack and then a stack.navigator, but like you want navigator and the screen out of this and screen out of this. Navigator, each stack that you have, the navigator is always wrapping around it, and then under navigator you always have screens. There should nothing be inside there. So navigator, and inside there are screens. Yeah, screens, and then it needs a name. I'll call this auth stack because that's what it's going to be. And the component that we use for that is auth stack. We're going to create that. And then of course you have another one which is like your main stack. It can be your app stack. We can call it like app stack. We need to create this auto stack. I usually create a folder a folder called src, which is short for source. Everything goes in here. Then what we need to do is create a folder for navigation, which like all the stacks and everything related to tabs and stacks goes underneath here. And here we have auth stack. We call this auth stack. And yeah, it has the props or the stack. We just don't need this at this point. Get rid of this now. Probably not, but leave it there for now. So the same thing goes in all stack, the same as in app stack. So we just need again this. So we bring, you don't need the container anymore. Container is just once you wrap everything around it, all your app, and that's it. And now you need this basically. Oh, actually, so you need to install this. I forgot to install this one. npx Expo. This is important because this is where it creates your stacks. You need to separately install this, and you get this out of it. Anyway, like until it's installed, we can just like continue. Same thing. You wrap everything in your stack with the navigator, and then navigator is always wrapped around the screens. And here you have a screen's name, sign up with a component, component. There's also a code component sign up screen, and you will have a login screen. For now, we have these two. We're not gonna have a welcome screen. You can have like first a welcome screen, and welcome screen leads you to the sign up or login screen, but now we just land on the sign up screen. It's much easier for the user. So we need to create two of these. So under the screen source, we need a folder called screens. And then on the screens, I think it's better to have a folder for auth. Anything related to auths or screens are going under this. It's signup.tsx. I'm using TypeScript. If you're using JavaScript, you can use JSX or JS or TSX. And also we know that we need another one with login TSX. So sign up, I'm going with the stateless component, and this is sign up. Great, that's a sign up screen. And we need the same thing for login screen. So we just like need to import this. I import the auth stack. At the moment, like we're not gonna have the main stack. I just disable this for now. Auth stack. Call the auth stack. And then we also need to do this screen, sign up screen. Should just like call this sign up. Yeah, just to make this more clear, we can just call this login screen, because we know which file is a screen, which file is our functions. It's just like a naming system that makes it much easier for us. So you need to go inside there and change this name. Sign up screen, and then login screen. Great. So just import them here, as these are two screens you are going to use. And yeah, in app you're importing this. We need to run the app. So there's this script basically. If you go to your package.json, you got this script called the start. So you can just like call npm run start, or expo start, npx expo start, something. It does the job. Just need to run it on my simulator. Yeah, so now you have sign up, auto stack, sign up, all this stuff. So this screen basically creates a header, which is the name of auto stack, and also the screen inside there, which is the sign up, also create a header. We don't want this. If we look at the design, let's go back to the design. There is no header at this point. The header can be transparent, because we still need like the back buttons still if you go into different screens, but the screen header is not visible. So what we can do is just on source, I create something called utils. All the utilities, anything like all the helper functions and all that goes in here. You can create navigation options. So what if I go to here, basically, let's just create this on this part on the auth stack, and then we can just move everything. Once we are happy with it, we can just move it to that helper function or the navigation option. So under options, and we want the header style. Header style, we want it to be transparent. Background color, transparent. And then on the header title, we don't want to display anything, just blank. So this is for now what we want. And then also like the header tint color, which is like the color of the back buttons and everything. I want it to be white for now. We can decide this later. So all this, I move it inside this basically, and I export this one so we can use it anywhere we want. We don't have to rewrite this anywhere. So navigation, standard navigation options. Okay, it's the same thing. So now it works, and then I can use the same thing on the login, so we don't have to rewrite all that again. All sorted. So what we need as a design, we need this image basically to be in the background of our screen. So, and then everything else goes on top of that. What I'm going to do is to export this image first. I think 1x is okay, and you can see the image. So inside the project, assets, I like to create something like images folder, and then call this sign up bg. That's a background. Okay, so in our sign up screen, what we need, we basically need something that is in the background, layout basically, that image in the background and everything on top. So probably we're gonna need this on other screens. So I'm gonna create a component again on the source. I create a folder called components, and under the components I create this components, and under components I'm creating something like layout. It's basically about layout, background wrapper or something, background screen wrapper. It's too long. I'm not really good with naming stuff. Go with this, or you can just change it to anything you want. But yeah, that's it. It's React Native stateless component, and it's a background screen wrapper. What it takes basically here, we can call it like image URL. Basically image, which is going to be a string. And how this works is we are going to have a view, which like your image would be on there, and you need to import the image from React Native. The source, it's basically like this one should be image prop. Yeah, that's all we need. So we pass it like to the source. Okay, so now what we need is the style for the image. So I'm just going here, style for the image. And we can use this same style here as well. And then also you have like children, because you're wrapping everything you're creating on that screen, which is the children underneath here. So then you have like here a view of your children. And the children is React Node. What do we need here? The container. I can say the container can be, let's try this, flex1. We want it to be a flex. And the image is basically position absolute. What we need here is like the width and height of the screen. Where do we get that? We can create a const file that everything comes from there. So I can create layout const. I always like call it const underline layouts.ts. And this one, I made a mistake, sorry. It should not be TSX, it's TX. So what we need here basically is the dimensions. We need the dimension of the screens. And how you can do that is const. Usually go the capitals when I'm using these variables, and is screen height, which is coming. I always get it from the screen, because there is one bug that happens if you get it from the window. The window, sometimes like when the app starts, on the first start, the window is still not there. So it doesn't recognize the width and height, and everything that you depends on this dimension, it might get messed up. And width, which is the same thing. So you just export this. Export these two. Great. So we're gonna need it here. So we need it for width. Width, if I can type it. Screen width. And same screen height. Width and height of this, and it needs to come here. So that should do. And also this needs to be also the container, I believe, because it needs like a flex one. Let's try this for now. So if we use this to wrap everything around our, so you can just reuse this one. So as an image, the image we want to use, we just put it in the source files, right? It's an image sign RPG. I just copy paste this probably. What we can do also, we just like import this as well. Import background image from this assets, and then images and the name that I copied. This, we gonna pass it here. Just import this for now, see if it works. It works. Okay, we have some other problems. So on our navigation, basically, so here we said like header should be transparent, but here like there is another one called header transparent true, which I get rid of that for now. And that's what we want at the moment. So let's look at the design. We want this to be on the bottom of the screen. So on our sign up screen, we need a view. So the container of this and the container, and then so the style for the text, and then container, it's going to be, that's like a suggestion from the AI. We won't want this. It's, and then let me just make this text white so we can see. But yeah, so you put it on the center. The alignments would be this one. We want it to be flex end. So you can see like it's in the bottom of the screen. It's fine for now. So what this needs is another view with the style, and we call this style input wrapper, which is like something like wrap around all of this, basically from these, the logo, everything of this would be in this wrapper. You want to wrap it around that in the wrapper. For now, like we don't want, like just like want a margin. We don't want to select the height. We want it to be center. We want a margin button of maybe 20 at this point, or 30. So everything we put in here, what we want at the moment, this is like Zen escape. Something to make everything easier, we can just create a reusable component. I'm going to create a reusable text component because we're going to use this a lot, and we don't want to like always create our text, and it's going to be mess up like different styles everywhere. So it's just one place. If you want your, for example, if you want like your heading text to be bigger or smaller, you can just change it from one place and everything changed there. There are different ways to do that, of course, but what I like to do is I call everything like as our branding Zen text or something to just create that. You can call it anything you want. I call it Zen text. How it works is, so we have these props. This is important. We can just pass it, for example. Okay, we can have heading large. We can have heading and heading small. Then we can have body and body small. As we go, like we might need different sizing. We just do that later. So we can have a heading and heading large and heading, and then body and body small. So these going to be booleans. To just make it easier to pass it as a prop, you just need to make it as a boolean. That's what I do usually. Okay. We have the body. Yeah, like there's this here. Again, like different ways to do that. I use, for example, a font weight, font size, which is the standard size. I put it as 14, for example. And then you can just go in and say if heading large, do this. If heading, do this. If body small, do this. Or maybe like even you can have, yeah, so you don't need body probably, because every time, like if you don't use anything, it always like body. Okay, and what you need to do is you need to just have your component text. And under the component text, of course you need to just wrap it, and then you need to, the children, because you want to pass the children into this. So again, children is React node, and you want to pass your children between here. That's it, your text. And of course your text with our style. Font size, you don't need it twice, you just need font size. We defined it up there. And then easy is that you want it to be like, if you want to center it, you can also pass another boolean. Again, boolean, you say here, you create this as a div false, so there's no center, is not centered. Center or auto, if it's centered. Then you need font weight or like just bold, because you probably just like need one style of bold, maybe in the whole design. Again, we can just change this later on. So one style of bold, and I would say font weight. If it's bold, then go with 800. If not, go with 400 as a font weight. And then of course, like color, you just need the color. As a default, if there's color, if not, it's gonna be white in case of us, because if you see the design, most of the fonts are white anyway, unless you just specifically want to change that. So that does the job for us. So now here, instead of this, we can import the Zen text. We need this Zen text. This is the component we just created, imported. And what I made the mistake is these are all optional, so you can just not have any of these passing through. And the color, also optional, and it's a string. Great. So let's check. If we say heading, oh, I made a mistake. I just said children. It needs to be like this. Okay. So if you say heading, you also, like when you're using TypeScript, you have all these suggestions. So use heading, and it's a bigger format. So we don't want this. We want it to be bigger. Let's see what you can just check the fonts here. If I go to the fonts, you can see it's bold and it's 34. So our heading is basically 34. And if it's a large heading, say 40, for example, for now. Let's try that. Okay, much better. And we're just saying bold, which makes it bold. Nice. So all that handled. What else do we want? Do we want basically this text. Okay, no heading, no bold, just normal. Yeah, for now it's fine. We can just make it in 2-line later on. Okay, that's okay. So now we need also this image. So I can export this now as a PNG. We can see the preview of this one. Yeah, it looks okay. Just export this into the images. Say logo white or light. Maybe we need a logo dark as well somewhere in the app. We don't know. Just for now, we make that. And it's now in our images. So we need to just add an image. And then source. Logo. I can just import it similar to that. Here, instead of that, it would be logo white.png. Logo. Something is not happy here. Yeah, the image, we haven't imported the image, that's the issue. Okay, much better now. So the style of the logo needs like a height and width here. Width, height. It says logo white doesn't exist. Logo light. I'm sure like you guys saw it. Logo light. And I think what we need to do is just, this is too small, like we need a 4x. Export this again. I'll create this, like it shouldn't be uppercase. Do this one, replace it. Yeah, it looks much better now. So just make sure that you use export as a 4x, 4 times the size, because it's gonna export it this small sizes here. Okay, now it's much better. Looks okay. So again, like for inputs and buttons, we need to create our templates. So again, I'm going to the components and create Zen text input. Input. So we don't need to just create this over and over. And of course, like we know that we need like our Zen button. Amazing. Also, other things that we need to do is the color theme of this basically. So I can just create a color const here. Let's say const layout, and here we just like say const colors, and we go with export const. Okay, we need our primary, it's better to call it color, our primary color. I'll get it from here. This is my primary color here now. That's it. Secondary color. Our secondary color is this color inside here. We might need to change that later, but that's fine. Then we don't have a tertiary at the moment. Export const background color. Background color is this. This is the background color. Text color is this, of course. What other color we have here? Oh, there's like a surface color, which is all the colors on these ones, which is this one. So I go export const surface color, and as this. We can have a default, export default, and then export all of them. So the easy part would be each time you want to just like import them, you just, let me just like change this, rename, there's a rename to just colors.ts. Every time just like go colors, then it gives you all these options, or you can individually import them, it's up to you. But you have all the options, like what colors you have, what you want to use. Okay, where were we? We were in our Zen text input. Okay. Zen text input, and what it requires is our text input, and this text input have like style, which you're going to I think like better to have like inline style, because later on we're going to use it to pass props and then change if we need to change anything in here. Rest props, just like everything else that this component basically is going to take. Everything else that this component it's going to take is going to be in this rest prop. I'm not going to define these here anyway. For now, we don't need this as well. Yeah, we just like need to style this for now. To make sure like our styling is correct, let me just pass this through. So we just have it here. Zen input. Text input, text input. For now, we have a default value, full name, something. I'm going to do one thing like this wrapper. I just put a bit like underneath, so now we just see it a little bit up there, so we can check what's going on. For the style, we need height, width, great. And the width we want it to be like percentage, like 60% of the screen, so even 90%. I can just do one thing for the width. I can do screen width times, so this is like 60% of the screen. Looks okay. Okay, cool. Background color. Then now use this colors.surface color. Amazing. If we see these, then there is a. Okay, so if you see this is like 80% of our design. Go with the 8. And 90% of our design. Yeah, looks better. 85, I use 85. Okay, much better. That's the color of background. Then border radius. Border. There's no comma here. Border radius. We see like border radius here. What in the design is 8. I'm going same as like with the design. Looks okay. Text color. We want it to be having like a padding horizontal 10 looks better. Margin, that's okay. Then a placeholder text color. On the colors, what I'm going to do is we're going to have our primary color, this, and we're going to get the RGB value. And for the text color, I'm gonna also like get the RGB value, which is 2555. And then for text color 80, I'm going with 8. Then text color 60, text color 40, and maybe like for now I'm using this and exporting them. Placeholder text color. RGB needs that. RGB. RGBA, RGB. Yeah, much better. Completely forgot this. Okay, does this, although this works? No. Okay, so that's like the placeholder. What I made a mistake is that in here, basically, we need the placeholder to do that, not the default value. So if the placeholder do that, then text color, this will be fine. Now, like if we type it, it's much better. Okay, cool. What I'm suggesting to make our life much easier is that padding top and bottom margin. So with the margin top, put a 10. Let's look at the design. Yeah, this is like for between these ones. I think. Yeah, that's 10. It's fine. But then we need like something above that's going to be different. So you can just wrap everything again under a view and view. I don't want to have like inline styles because it makes it really messy. So this one is basically input wrapper. Just put it here, input wrapper, margin top would be 30. It's from here to here. I'll go with 40. It's too much. 30, 25. That looks better. And we'll go with, yeah, let's have this line around it. It looks nicer, I think. Here it's the placeholder should say email, and then we have another one that says, yeah, I'll do something else for this. So to manage this state of these two, we can create something called credentials, and then we initiate it with, what do we need? Email and password, of course. Right, and then this credentials has this email and password. Instead of creating two of these, we can do that. But like, instead of doing that, we can just map through this and own the keys. So email and password. So I can say object dot keys, which is email, password, and map and then get that item, the key. And what I can do is just return this input inside here, right? And this key is a string. It's clear. We are just want a string. Yeah, like that. Another one. And object.keys, and we have this, and there should be like another one of these. Yeah, now it's okay. Make this nicer. Okay, so why we did that, so now we have the key. So instead of this email placeholder, we can just go key, and now you have two of them. Like, easy. What it does is basically map through these keys. Now you have email, password. If you like, you add like something like name as well here. It just automatically do that. You can just change the order of them, and yeah, of course a comma, and it does this. For some reason, this is margin top. Oh, I added like margin button as well. We just like need margin bot top. Yeah, so for now, we don't need a name, just need email, password, and there we go. We have all of that. There is something wrong with this because we initially said margin button this. We want it to be, let's see the design. Okay, we need to still like the button. Let's create, and also this looks a bit taller than what we have. And it's in the height 45. What did we do? Yeah, 40, 45. Yeah, looks better. For the button, again, like Zen button, we created that. React Native stateless component. Zen button. I need some stuff. So we need children. Children. Yeah, for some reason. Children like that. And children basically goes into the text that we want it to be there. The container is like the button container. So with a background, we want a primary color. So what I'm going to do, basically, I'm not going to do it here because we probably need to pass this stuff around. So what I'm going to do is, maybe we need like a primary and a secondary button. So I do the same approach as I let the background color to be our primary color. So whenever we define button is going to be a primary button unless we just say no. And if we just say secondary, if we say secondary, then the button color is equal to color as the secondary color. Yeah, that's it, secondary color. And this would definitely call from here, which is a boolean again. We need to import it, add it. Yeah, that's it. So if the secondary color, that's it. And here, the background color, padding, blah, blah, all that. Let's see how does it look first before we invest more time on this. Zen button. It's going to be this. Sign up. Amazing. Cool. I believe like the width of this needs to be screen width. Yeah, width. Yeah, looks good. Okay, that's stuff. I think I'm not gonna give the padding at the moment. No padding. Yeah. So let's see how tall this is. The height is 50. Should we make the height same as the design, 50? Looks okay. And then we just do center and line item center. Makes it center. On the text side, we need to have styling on the text side. Style. The text side is color. I use the colors. Text color. Great. Then we can just check the font size in the design. Let's see. The font size on the design is 20 and it's medium bold. Font size. I doesn't like it. Okay, font size is 20. I think 20 is a bit too much. Let's go with 18. Yeah, much better. And font weight bold, or maybe 600. A bit better. And okay, that's good. That's a solid button. We need to still like passing something else. The buttons has always touchable, is you just press the button. So we wrap everything into, we can just touchable opacity, maybe. Touchable opacity, did it import it? Yeah, imported it. Touchable opacity instead of view. It's fine. So when we click, it just goes that. And then there's a prop called touchable. I completely forgot. We can just go inside here. Opacity props. Yeah, active opacity. Active opacity would be 8% maybe. 0.8. Yeah, just more subtle if you see. If it's like full way, like 0, so it just disappear completely when you click. Just want a hint of it. The user know they click but not just completely disappear. Okay, this is cool. So I'm going back to my sign up screen, and the button again, it can have a view. And also one other thing, we can just pass the style here. Pass the style. And then put the style here. And this is style. It's going to be style prop. And just like style props, so like any props that pass through the style. And one other thing like I need to do as well, when I was doing this, I needed to do that as well. So on our Zen text input, lost it. Zen text input. I can just extend this to text input props. Yeah, text input props, and it would handle everything else that I just added here. Basically none of these required, and you don't need anything. That's it. So here, if you see the text input, now we have, say, values, everything would be available. Anyway. Okay, so the value, basically, let's go through this. The value is this key. The credential does this key. So it's basically, it says this key at this point is email, and the credential is everything. So it just this credential dot email, which goes in here. And then we have it on change, where we use everything in the credential. We can just to set it, we can just get the previous state, whatever it is, then return this previous state, whatever previous state is, spread it out, and we use the key and whatever text it's happening there. So it's email, it's password, it's all happening. So if I log this, you can see that we are doing that. Okay, yeah, see, like I can add this, you see it's adding and updating the state. Yeah, this is called controlled component. Great. What else do we need? Yeah, we need like to styling this. We need a little bit space here. So our Zen button can have a view, and this view say style margin top 30. It's a lot, like 20. Now 15. More it looks good. So I think like this, our text is too big. Yeah, it looks better. Okay, so what else we want? You want like this, have an account, blah blah. You need probably one of these. 10, 2. And we don't need this, we need the Zen text. What are our text? Is this. So we want to click on this and it takes us somewhere else. So we can add touchable opacity. Press. Okay, on press you want to navigate. So how do we navigate? We want to navigate to the login screen. And there is like a navigation comes out of here, basically. It's always like on the prop. Navigation dot navigate the login screen. So if I do that now, you go to the login screen and there's a back button. Great. We can just use the navigation prop types. Navigation prop. So we have everything. We have like our credentials, setting the credential, we have this. And what we need to do, we just like having the same exact screen for login, and we just change a couple of things. So copy this, go to the login, paste it, change this to login screen, and we need just this image. The image is there, export. I export this to sign up, and this one is like login background. Saved. Back here, background image, just login. Let's go to the login screen. Perfect. Everything works. We have these, we have backgrounds, a transparent background, a transparent header, everything same as design. We just like need to change this button here. and also the text in here. So this one is like going to be login. Here it says don't have an account, sign up, same thing, and it goes to sign up. Yeah, always do that. Sign up, and we go back forward. Beautiful. So everything is set up on our login screens. I think this tutorial was like too long. To connect this to Firebase, I'm gonna do another part. And yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel and also hit the bell button, so every time I'm uploading the new part of this tutorial, you're gonna be notified. And yeah, see you in the next tutorial.